All right, the next section is on volume of a pyramid. We kind of separate out the pyramid and cone for some reason, but that's okay. It's the same formula actually for both of them. So for a pyramid, very similar to the cylinder and prism. So the formula for those was area of the base times height. For our pyramids, we still are going to use the area of the base and the height. We're just going to have 1/3. Okay, so remember that the uppercase B means area of the base. And so all the problems that you're going to do will involve a base that's either a square, a rectangle, which is just the two dimensions that you have. And there's a couple of them that are a triangle. So half base times height. And I'm glancing at those ones, and yeah, you have the base and the height of those triangles on all of them. So there's really not anything to figure out as it relates to the base. Okay, so remember that in a pyramid, so when we did surface area, we were concerned about the slant height, which was that height kind of down one of the sides, where in volume we need the height of the triangle, which is right down through the center. Okay, from the peak of the pyramid straight down. So you'll see a right angle. I need to make that a little bit more pronounced. Okay, at the bottom. So, you could have, just to make it a little bit different, let's say that this was 8 and this was 6, and then the height was 10. So we'd have 1/3. Area of the base would be 8 times 6. I'm going to change this 10 to a 9 so it can work out a little bit nicer. And then the height is 9. So the reason I changed it to a 9, actually it wouldn't have mattered, but that's okay. 48 times 9. 1/3 means divide by 3. So I didn't really look at the 48, but 9 divided by 3 is 3. 48 does divide by 3, but that's okay. So we have 120, 144. Okay, and this would be like inches cubed. Whatever the measurement that's used. Okay, so there's the easy, straightforward problem. Let's see if they do any of the other stuff that they could possibly do. It doesn't look like it. So you have just a couple problems like that. So then you might also, or you will have, a problem that is something like this. So there's a picture of a pyramid in the book from one of the Egyptian pyramids, I think. So it tells you that the pyramid has a height of 144 meters and a volume of 2,218,800. And so then it says find the side of the square base. Okay, so basically what it's saying, and you don't have to like draw a picture to do this, but so it's saying the height, is 144, and then the whole volume is that big number. And then since it says it's a square, I know those two are the same. So what it wants you to do is just plug that information into the formula. So it says volume equals 1/3 area of the base times height. So it's, whatever x times x, 6 times 6, 12 times 12, 400 times 400, whatever it might be. So first I can divide by 3. 144, can I divide that by 3? This is a great number pattern that you really should know. If I add those numbers together, 1 plus 4 plus 4 equals 9. I can do 9 divided by 3, so I can do 144 divided by 3. I don't know what the answer is, I just know it's possible, so trying it isn't going to be wasting my time. Okay, it works that way for if it adds up to 9. So 144, 1 plus 4 plus 4 is 9. I can do 9 divided by 9. That means 9 goes into 144. Again, I don't know how many times, but I know it'll work. So it's worth trying. I don't care about 9, I care about 3 because I have a 3 right here. So if I divide that in, 3 goes into 14 4 times. What am I doing? Because 4 times 3 is 12. And 2, so it'll be 48. And then x times x squared. All right, then, we're going to just solve the equation for x. So I'm going to have to do 2,218,800 divided by 48. And I get, 46,225 even. It's not even rounded off. And then we're going to do square root. And we get 215. It actually is, the square root of that is 215. Okay, so find the side of the square base. I did, 215. Okay, and so it said meters up here, so it would have to be meters there as well. Okay, so you're going to have, it looks like 4 problems where, a pyramid with a square base has a volume of 120 and a height of 10. Okay, the pyramid has a square base with a volume of 912 and a height of 15. Find the side length of the square base. Okay, so just different problems like this that are, excuse me, excuse me, sorry, that are, the volume, but you're missing part of the base. Or it looks like they all have a height. So you're finding part of the base. Then you'll do some where you're doing it the opposite way. You're finding it has the volume and it gives you information about the base, and then you're supposed to find the height. So it's really the same, problems. Let's see if I can do one. The numbers may not work out like perfect. But so let's say the volume is 164 and each of the bases are like that, and it might say we'll find the height. So you would say 164 equals 1/3. Area of the base would be 4 times 4. And then I don't know the height. So on one like this, okay, you could write it as 16/3, and that's not a terrible idea, but I tend to do these ones like in 2 steps. You could do it in 1 step, but the 3 on the bottom means divide, and I don't want it there. So how do I get rid of it? Well, I'm going to multiply this side times 3, and I'm going to multiply this times 3, because the 3's reduce. And so I get 492 equals 16h. And then I'll divide by 16. And I end up with 30.75. Okay, so a lot of your assignment is actually going to be, I know the volume, find the height, or I know the volume, find part of the base. Okay, so if it said like a rectangle base, and it gives you, like, let's say, I don't, the wording will be, the width of the rectangle. Let's see, I know the width is 8 and the length, I don't know. But maybe it it says the height is 12, and then the volume is 153. I don't know, I'm just making stuff up here. Let's see what happens. So the volume is 153. 1/3. Area of the base would be 8. And if you wanted to use L, if you wanted to use X, whatever, you're good. Okay, so I would do, I notice, hey, like the, excuse me, I could divide 12 divided by 3 and get 4. You can actually, because everything here is being multiplied, you could put 32L and then divide by 32. And let's see what we get there. 153 divided by 32, and we get a big old long number. It's because I just made up stuff. So it's like 4.78125. So I would say you could round all that off to like 4.8. Okay. So a lot of them, like I said, are this equation kind where you know the volume and you're trying to find the height, and you know the other stuff, or you know the other stuff, or you know the height, and you're trying to find different like things, but we're just going to plug it into formula and work it out from there. Okay? All right, so hopefully not... Oh, I know what I was going to do. Not quite done yet. The last couple problems will be what's called composites. I think you did some in the last assignment, but just in case you weren't completely sure on those ones. So if it said find the volume of this. Okay, so let's say, let's say we have a square. And you would need to know the height, which you do, of that. So let's say it's 6. And let's say this is 6 also. Okay, so basically I need to find the volume of the pyramid. I need to find the volume of the prism, and then I just need to add. Or find the volume of the prism and then the volume of the pyramid and then add. Like, it doesn't matter which one you do first. So I'll do the prism, or the pyramid in red. So 1/3 area of the base. So the base information is all the way down here on the bottom. Okay, so 1/3 area of the base, 3 times 3 times the height. So you can do 3 times 3 is 9, times 6, divide, 9 divided by 3 is 3. So the volume of the pyramid is 18. And then the prism is just area of the base times height. So it's 3 times 3 times 6. 3 times 3 is 9, times 6 is 54. And then I'm going to add 54 plus 18. 72 feet cubed, or whatever the case might be. Okay. So you have a couple of those at the end. They're called composites. So it says find the volume of the composite solid. All right, so there's two of them. One's a rectangle base, one's a triangle base. So do just remember that the area of a triangle, half base times height. You'll need to do that on at least two of the problems. Okay, some of the other ones are triangles, but you're not finding the area of the triangle, or for the base, you already know the volume and you're just solving for part of it. So, all right, there we go. Now I'm done. Okay, have a good weekend. Hopefully not too bad of an assignment, and we'll see you Monday.